Hello students, we are reading chapter 9 of class 10 from First Flight, and that is Madam Rides the Bus, written by Valikanan. Valikanan is pseudonym of R.S. Krishnasamy, who is an Indian Tamil writer, journalist, critic and translator. Through this story, Madam Rides the Bus, the writer depicts the curious nature of the children. This story shows that how easily children are fascinated by new things and their curiosity doesn't end without experiencing them. Just as we see Vali has a desire to go on a bus ride and she manages to go all alone. So her first bus ride has been depicted by the writer in a humorous and rambling way. And through this story, we also get to see the world from the eyes of a child, or we can say from the perspective of a child. Now, in the first two parts, we have seen that Vali is on her bus ride and she was just enjoying her experience. Then suddenly a cow running towards the bus made her laugh and clap. The cow was not moving aside despite continuous honking by the driver. And then let us see what happens next. Now here we are. Yes, here. Somehow this was very funny to Vali. She laughed and laughed until there were tears in her eyes. So we have seen already that whenever the driver, the bus conductor sounded the horn, the cow became more frightened and it ran faster in front of the bus. So this incident was very funny to Vali. She laughed so much that tears came to her eyes. "Hey lady, haven't you laughed enough?" called the conductor. "Better save some for tomorrow." Now the conductor again made fun of Vali and told her that she had already laughed a lot. He advised her to save some of her laugh for tomorrow. And then at last the cow moved off the road. And soon the bus came to a railroad crossing. Then a speck of a train could be seen in the distance, growing bigger and bigger as it drew near. Then very soon we can say the bus came to a railway crossing and a small dot of train could be seen at a far distance. And this dot was just becoming bigger and bigger as the train came near. Now then it rushed past the crossing gate with a tremendous roar and rattle, shaking the bus. So here we can see the train moved past the crossing at a great speed, and due to which the sound of train was very loud. Roar means very loud, and the bus shook slightly because of the movement of the train. Then the bus went on and passed the train station. From there it traversed a busy, well laid out shopping street and turning entered a wider thoroughfare. So thoroughfare means a busy public road. Here we can see that the bus after just crossing the train railway station, the bus started to move and then it crossed railway crossing and then passed the railway station. That means, and then the bus traveled to a busy road. Then this street had nicely constructed, or we can say nicely arranged shops. Well laid out means nicely arranged. And then it entered a wide main road. So we can see shops on this road were very big and bright. Such big, bright looking shops. What glittering displays of clothes and other merchandise. Such big crowds. So, here we can see there was an impressive display of clothes and other products in each shop. So, now there were totally decorated shops and all the things were glittering, all the things were just looking bright. Struck dumb with wonder, Wali gaped at everything. So here we can see that Wali was so surprised that she could not speak anything. Struck dumb means unable to speak due to surprise. And she just stared at everything. Then the bus stopped and everyone got off except Wali. Then the bus stopped and everyone got out of the bus. "Hey lady," said the conductor, "aren't you ready to get off? This is as far as your 30 paise takes you." So now the conductor asked Wali why she was not getting down from the bus. He said that in 30 paise she could come up to that point only. So that's the only destination. "No," Wali said, "I'm going back on this same bus." She took another 30 paise from her pocket and handed the coins to the conductor. Now, Wali just denied. She just said that she would not get down from the bus. She wanted to go back to the village in the same bus, and that's why she took out another 30 paise from her pocket and gave to the conductor. "Why? Is something the matter?" "No, nothing is the matter. I just felt like having a bus ride, that's all." So here the conductor asked Wali if there was any problem. Then Wali replied that she just wanted to have a ride in the bus, that's all. Don't you, don't you want to have a look at the sights now that you are here?" So now the conductor just said that since she is already in the town, she may like to see the town. So she should see the town also. Then Wali said, "All by myself? Oh, I would be much too afraid." Now Wali said that she was afraid to move alone in the city, in the town. Greatly amused by the girl's way of speaking, the conductor said, "But you weren't afraid to come in the bus." Now the conductor felt funny, amused at the way girl spoke this time. He said that, but she was not afraid to come alone in the bus. How can she say that she is afraid to move alone in the city, in the town? "Nothing to be afraid of about that," she answered. That means she answered that there was nothing to be afraid of while traveling alone in the bus. "Well then, why not go to that stall over there and have something to drink? Nothing to be afraid of about that either." Then again the conductor suggested her to go to a shop and buy something to drink. There is nothing to be afraid about it also. "Oh no, I couldn't do that." Again she refused. She denied that she can't buy it. Then the conductor said, "Well then, let me bring you a cool drink." Then he just offered that he will bring something to drink for her. Then Wali, "No, I don't have enough money. Just give me my ticket, that's all." Then Wali said that she can't buy it, and then when the conductor insisted that he will bring something to drink for her, then Wali said that he didn't have money to buy a drink. So she asked him to give her tickets only. "It shall be my treat and not cost you anything." So again the conductor just offered that it will be a treat from him. Wali need not pay anything. "No, no," she said firmly. "Please no." So that means we can say she doesn't want to take anyone's help. She just firmly said no to the conductor. The conductor shrugged and they waited until it was time for the bus to begin the return journey. Again, there weren't many passengers. So we can say the conductor now ignored Wali. They waited till it was the time for the bus to start its journey back to the village, and once again there were not so many passengers in the bus. Now move to next. Won't your mother be looking for you? The conductor asked when he gave the girl her ticket. So now the conductor inquired. First he gave Wali her ticket and then he inquired if her and asked, or we can say he asked, if her mother would be searching for her. Then Wali said, no one will be looking for me. So she was totally confirmed about it, that no one would be searching for her. The bus started and again there were the same wonderful sights. Wali wasn't bored in the slightest and greeted everything with the same excitement she had felt the first time. So here we can say the bus started, and during the journey there were same interesting scenes and she didn't get bored at all. She enjoyed everything with the same eagerness or with the same enthusiasm of the first time. But suddenly she saw a young cow lying dead by the roadside, just where it had been struck by some fast moving vehicles. Now suddenly she saw a dead young cow lying on the side of the road. Some fast moving vehicle had collided with it, or we can say hit it. Isn't that the same cow that ran in front of the bus on our trip to town? She asked the conductor. So she asked conductor if that was the same cow which was running ahead of the bus during their journey to the town. The conductor nodded. So we can say the conductor moved his head to indicate yes. And she was overcome with sadness. Now she was full of sadness. What had been a lovable, beautiful creature just a little while ago had now suddenly lost its charm and its life and looked so horrible. So here we can say now this was a lovable and beautiful animal some time ago, and suddenly it had lost its happiness and life or energy, and it looked very bad and full of fear. So frightening as it lay there, legs spread angled, a fixed stare in its lifeless eyes, blood all over. So here its legs were stretched out and the lifeless eyes were staring at one point only, and there was blood around its body. The bus moved on. The memory of the dead cow haunted her, dampening her enthusiasm. She no longer wanted to look out of the window. So we can say this experience just changed her thinking. Now the bus continued to move, and the memory of the dead cow troubled her, haunted her. It just reduced her excitement. Now she didn't want to look out of the window. She sat thus, glued to her seat, until the bus reached her village at 3:40. She stood up, and so we can say she just continued to sit fixed on her seat till the bus reached her village at 3:40. She stood up and stretched herself. Then she turned to the conductor and said, "Well, sir, I hope to see you again." So now she stood from her seat and stretched herself. Then she looked at the conductor and said that she hoped to meet him again. The conductor Okay, madam, he answered her, smiling. Whenever you feel like a bus ride, come and join us. And don't forget to bring your fare. So here the conductor smiled at her and then said, okay, madam. And he said that whenever she wanted to ride a bus, she could come to his bus. And he also reminded her to always bring the bus fare. She laughed and jumped down from the bus, and then away she went, running straight for home. When she entered her house, or she just found her mother awake and talking to one of Wali's aunts, the one from South Street. Now Wali laughed and jumped out from the bus. She just ran directly towards her home, and when she reached home, she noticed that her mother had already woken up and she was talking to one of Wali's aunts. Now, this aunt was a real chatterbox, never closing her mouth once she started talking. So, uh, we also come to know that this aunt lived in the south street of the village, and she was very talkative. She never stopped talking after starting to talk. Now her aunt asked, and where have you been? Said her aunt when Welly came in. She spoke very casually, not expecting a reply. So Welly just smiled, and her mother and aunt went on with their conversation. So now what happened? When she just entered, she just found that her mother was talking to one of her aunts, and then her aunt had just asked her where she had been to. Then her aunt had spoken so casually, or very just casually, as if she didn't expect a reply. So Wali just smiled at her, and her aunt and her mother continued to talk. Yes, you are right, her mother said. So many things in our midst and in the world outside. How can we possibly know about everything? And even when we do know about something, we often can't understand it completely. Can we? Then her mother just told to aunt that there were so many things around us or in the world that we cannot know everything. And even when we know about certain things, we cannot fully understand about it. Oh, yes, breathed Wali. So here Wali agreed with her mother and said yes in a very low voice. What? Asked her mother. Then her mother asked Wali about what she had said. What's that you say? Oh, said Wali, I was just agreeing with you with what you said about things happening without our knowledge. So here Wali just interrupted them, and when she was inquired by her mother that what she had said, then she replied that she agreed with what her mother just told about the certain things and how they happen around us without our knowledge. Just a chit of a girl she is, said her aunt. Now her aunt just remarked, or we can say, she just uh, said that Wali was a naughty girl. A chit of a girl means naughty girl. And yet, look how she pokes her nose into our conversation, just as though she were a grown lady. Now, Aunt also said that Wali just interrupted, or we can say interfered, into their conversation as if she was a grown up lady, although she was a naughty girl. Now, Wali smiled to herself. She didn't want them to understand her smile. But then there wasn't much chance of that, was there? So here we can say Wali smiled to herself. Why? She didn't want them to understand why she was smiling. But there was very less chances for them to understand her smile. So no doubt, without her mother's knowledge, she was able to accomplish her target. And what was that? To ride in a bus. And she thoroughly just enjoyed her that experience, first experience of bus journey. I hope that you are able to understand this chapter thoroughly. If you have any doubt, you can discuss it freely in the group or in the class. Thank you. Have a good day.